Hi everyone, and welcome to our video on cardinal number Venn diagram applications. So these occur whenever you kind of have just long list of numbers like this. So you can see in both of these scenarios, it's kind of like these long numbers. So we know it's going to be a Venn diagram part. So even if we just stumble upon this, say on the final, we know it's all right. It's going to be a Venn diagram. And notice it's kind of similar to how it's broken down from previous video, where they just use the set notations. Now it's just in words, and we could convert this into set notation. However, often I think it's just easiest to continue working with it in words. Maybe some of them, changing it into set notation will help. But other than that, I would say let's just go right at it the same way we did from the other ones. All right, so on this problem, it says at a camp of 140 kids, there were 3 outdoor activities they could choose from. A survey was taken with the following results. Okay, and there are all the results. Okay, one thing from this main start is this is the number. So this is where that's a nice way to use your notation. Now that is the number in our universe, the cardinal number. It's 140. So at least I know that all of my regions should add up to be 140. Okay, and then I'm just going to set up my Venn diagram rectangle, and then looking at it, the 3 outdoor activities based on this list look like it's archery, rowing, and hiking. So I'm going to make 3 circles. And let's label them archery, rowing, and hiking. So we'll just use the first letter. All right, and then with these problems, we just go through it one by one. So kind of like I did in the previous videos. We just have to remember that, so all of these, let's go ahead and block them for now. It says that these are their individual activities. So for instance, like the 70 kids that did archery, that's the 4 regions inside of the circle A. So that means that we could not use yet. Similar with the next 2, we can't use those either. Okay, and then we see and. Remember that and is the intersection symbol. So for instance, if we wanted to convert these into the set notation, like we could say that the number in the archery is 70. So just to do it for this, there's the number in the rowing, and the number in the hiking is also 53. If we wanted to convert these, this would be the number in the archery and rowing would be 26. We also have the number in archery and hiking is 20, and the number in the rowing and hiking is 21. I'm sorry, the blue pops up, so it just thinks there's a grammar mistake, but I think it's okay for what we got. Okay, and then so these, remember the and symbol is showing like the football shape, so the archery and rowing would be the 2 regions in the kind of middle upward football. So that means we can't use these yet either. So these all have and in it, but we can't use them yet. So I'm just kind of grouping them on the left with a line. But this last one, so one of these things we should be able to use, at least one of them. This we can do. So this is all 3 activities. All 3 activities. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and write it, but this is where I probably would not write it back in set notation. It would be all ands though. Archery and rowing and hiking is doing all 3 activities. So again, just in case we did want to do all of them, we could. Okay, so there's that. So, and this is the most middle intersection, or the region. So that is 16 right there. So I'm going to say this is the first thing we could do. And then now just going up, let me use it in purple. So these we can now do. So the kind of the main goal is to, if you can get that most middle part, that's the best way to go, or that's the easiest way they can make it, because now I could start to fill in the rest of the football shapes. So for instance, like the 26 kids that did archery and rowing. Okay, archery and rowing is this middle football, and 16 is already counted, so that must mean 10 would go right there. Okay, so the archery and rowing, so here's archery, here's the rowing, the left and right circle. Their intersection is that football shape. It needs to add up to 26. Okay, so we've got that. And then we keep going with it. It says archery and hiking. So 20 kids did archery and hiking. Well, 16's already been counted. So archery and hiking needs a 4 in the small part of this football shape again, because 4 plus 16 is 20. Okay, and then the last one is the rowing and hiking. So 21 kids did rowing and hiking. Again, the football shape already has 16 kids counted, so that means 5 more would go into the remaining part of the football shape. Like that, okay, because 5 plus 16 is 21. Okay, so that's so far just going through it, and I put these little check marks to let me know, hey, I did use it. Okay, so just in case, I put that there to let me know that it's probably done and I don't need to go back to it. Okay, and then these, well, now we can fill all these in. So this, I'm just kind of grouping my first, second, and third steps in big groups for 2 and 3. Okay, so it says 70 kids did archery. Well, we have 3 of them filled in at this point, 3 of the 4 regions. And it looks like 30's already counted, 10 plus 16 plus 4. So if 30's already counted, then that means 40 would be left over for the 70. And then the rowing circle, there's the row, needs to have 53 in it. Well, it currently has 31 doing that math, and so we would need another 22 right there. Okay, so we add them up, and we could always check with the calculator if you need to. We could verify it. Let me go ahead. Since I'm on a computer, I would just use this one, and let me just go ahead and add those 4 that are in the rowing. So 10 plus 16 plus 5 plus 22 is 53, which is what I wanted. So it's always worth it still to check. So I'm trying to do it without a calculator to save a little time, but you can always do it to the side as needed, and then I would say always double check. Okay, and then the last one here, the 53 kids that did hiking, so 25 has counted, so that means I would need another 28 to get it to 53. Okay, so if we already have 25, another 28 makes it 53. Okay, so there's all of my interior parts, all the circle parts filled in, and then I haven't used the universe set number yet, the 4th thing, I guess the grouped 4th thing that I could do, because I want to know this outside number. Okay, so that means all of these added up. So our 40 plus 10 plus 22 plus 4 plus 16 plus 5 plus 28 plus something needs to equal 140. And this is where I'd probably use my calculator to be extra safe. So I'm going to add all those up. So we got 40 plus 10 plus 22 plus 4 plus 16 plus 5 plus 28 is 125. And I know if I add 15 to that, it would be 140. Okay, so 15 is what would go on the outside of these circles. Okay, so there they all are. So now that we have this, we can answer these questions. And these questions we might need to make a little sketch of shading, which is fine. Okay, but if you look at it as well, just from this sketch, then that's awesome too. All right, so number 1, it says how many kids did not do any outdoor activities? Okay, so all of the outdoor activities are in these circles. This 15 would be them not doing any. There we go. Okay, so that's a good one where I'd say, hey, yeah, just looking at this, I think we can get it. So all of these are the activities in the circles. So 15 kids must not have done any. All right, and then number 2, how many kids did only archery? Okay, so only archery means that there won't be any other type of intersection in the archery circle. Let me do that in this light blue. So only is a key word, only archery. So it's looking at the archery circle, but it's the part that has no other intersection with it. Okay, so it's going to be the 40. Okay, so the only is the part with no other intersection. Okay, so the 4, 16, 10, those have intersections involved with them or the overlap. 40 doesn't have any. It's just the one part that's only archery. Okay, and then let's see what else we got. Okay, so this next one, it says how many kids did archery and hiking, but then not rowing. Okay, so this is where this is where we could, let's go ahead and make it, so this is where it's tough because I kind of don't have the best space, but I think we could do it. Okay, so here's my archery, rowing, and hiking. And here's where we could break down our parts. So like archery and hiking. So here's A, here's H, would be this shaded region right here. But they say, but not rowing. So it wants you to take away the rowing portion from that circle. So it's saying get rid of this rowing portion, or not from the circle, but from the intersection. So get rid of that rowing portion, and then we'll just fill it in. So it's only this that's getting shaded. So that extra dark. So this is the archery and hiking, but get rid of the rowing part. Okay, so looking at my picture and my other picture, it looks like it's 4. Okay, so we found the intersection, and then we took away the rowing portion of that intersection. And then our fourth thing to find, how many kids did not do hiking? Again, not's a key word, so I'm trying to underline all the important words there. So how many kids did not do hiking? Okay, well, the number of kids that did hiking, we could count. Okay, so there's 2 ways we could do this. Let me go ahead and use set notation. So the number of kids that did not do hiking would be the number in the universe minus the number of kids that did hiking. Okay, so that's one way to do it. So we kind of didn't need the Venn diagram to answer this because we have it in this table or the list of values up there. So we could say not hiking was the 140 minus, okay, so it says 53 kids did it. And then from there we can calculate it. Let me use my calculator one more time to be safe. Okay, so 140 minus 53 is 87. And there we go. The other way we could have done it is we could have, again, I'm putting my star, add all the numbers that are not in this hiking circle. So it would have been 40 plus 10 plus 22 plus 15. And if we were to add that, well, it would be 50 plus 37. And yes, that is 87. So it's a way to double check. Okay, so that's how we could break these problems down. All right, so I'm going to pause this video or stop this video. If you want to try, this one's harder. Okay, so we'll try a more challenging one. But either way, it's I would still think just try to break it down the most you can. Fill in whatever regions you can. Use the colors and the check marks to help you know what you filled in. And hopefully you'll be okay, especially with a little practice. So these are hard at first. With practice, though, I think they're doable. Okay, so if you do have questions, though, let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.